Nobody talks about this side of van life, and not everybody has to go through it, but it's real. At least for me, this is what I'm living like. Chronic illness and fatigue don't just disappear because I hit the road. Some days van life feels magical, and some days it just feels like survival. Stay tuned and let's talk about it. Hi, and welcome back to Miles to Myself. I'm Michelle. And let's talk about this survival technique that I have developed since I've been on the road. A lot of you may, I'm guessing, look at other channels that have YouTube van life or survivals or, out in the woods, whatever. And all those people may be healthy as horses, but maybe they're not. And they don't talk about what they struggle with when they're trying to live a life of adventure. I've had great moments on the road, especially in Yellowstone, where I found that Yellowstone River, and got to walk beside that. It just, to be in nature is such a blessing. I love it. I love spending time with my dog. I love the freedom that I have right now, but that's not always the case. Sometimes I wake up and I am in a lot of pain. I'm nauseous. I'm still fatigued as if, like I have the flu. I can't move. I can't do anything. And that's the reality of my life, is just, that's how it is. I have to figure out sometimes how, if I'm going to travel that day. Do I have the strength to take Sharpie for a walk? Do I just have to let him out on his lead? Am I going to make my bed that day? Am I going to get out of bed that day? Do I have enough energy to do that? And some days the answer is no. And you don't see that because, you know what? Everybody has those days. Maybe when they don't feel well and they're, stuck in bed. You don't need to see me do that. But let's talk about, how we can cope with that kind of curveball that life throws at you sometimes. Chronic pain and fatigue doesn't mean I can just do whatever I want. And people who live with that understand what I mean by that. Sometimes I have to change my plans. I have to stay longer at a campsite, or maybe cut destinations short because I can't cope with, doing all the hikes and the walks and the sightseeing that I wanted to do, just because my body simply won't cooperate with that. Even just the simple things. I struggle to cook for myself, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just snack. Sometimes I just find, a McDonald's or a something. Even though that's not the healthiest food, it's better than sitting here starving because I can't cook for myself. And I think it's important to share that, because van life isn't a magic cure for illness. It's not why I chose this life. My body didn't just suddenly heal itself because I chose a new lifestyle. So, how do I cope? First thing, something I've had to learn to do. I give myself permission to slow down, to understand that my body needs time to heal. It's going through something. I'm mad at it. It's mad at me, even though I didn't do anything usually to deserve it. But it does flare up, and I have no control over that. There's no medications for me to take. Pain medicine doesn't do a thing. Food doesn't do a thing. The only cure is a liver transplant someday. And that's just how it is. Got to cope with it. So I got to give myself permission to stop and let myself rest and heal. Second thing that I do to cope is, when I do feel well, I focus on small joys, like taking Sharpie for a walk, like making an excellent cup of coffee in the morning, like sitting on the side of my van when I have a beautiful view and just taking it all in and feeling so grateful that I have this time now when I'm feeling well. And when I'm not feeling well, I know, at least I try and tell myself, it will pass. It might not pass for a week, a month, maybe it's just a couple of days, but I always hope that it's going to pass soon. And third, I make practical choices. Sometimes that means paying for a campground with electric so I don't have to stress myself out, worried if I'm going to make my solar charge, especially up here in the Pacific Northwest. Most of you know, as I did as well, this is starting to be really rainy here, and although I missed it when I was in California, now I'm not going to have my good solar charging days like I did in California, so I might have to charge at a campground. And that's okay, This is not forever. This is just a few days here where I'm going to spend some time exploring the Pacific Northwest going into Washington. And I might have to cut that trip short because I don't know how I'm going to feel. But again, it's permission. It's telling myself that it's okay if I don't get to see A, B, C, D like I planned. Maybe I only get to see A and B. Hey, that's perfectly fine. And in the end, I didn't choose van life because I thought it would be easy. I chose it because I wanted freedom. I wanted to be able to have experiences. I didn't want, this is important too, I didn't want to go to work every day, go home, go to bed, wake up, go to work, go home, go to bed, because that's what my life was at that time. And I knew I didn't want any more of that. So in order to not have any more of that, I had to figure out pretty quick what I did want. And this is what I decided I wanted to do. And even if my body has limits, I get to decide how I'm going to spend my energy, where I want to be, and how I want to live. So I had a lot of comments the last time I did a video like this. And a lot of you replied with, that you were also stuck, or maybe you're a caregiver, or you have a lot of chronic health illnesses. I really was so emotional. I wish I could go to each one of you with a little magic wand and magic you out of pain and magic you out of hard situations. But I just want to talk about how you cope with your day-to-day experiences. Do you find little joys in life on a daily basis, or however often you can, to get through to the next time when you're feeling well? That's the kind of thing. Maybe it'll be something that I could look forward to too, and maybe others could look forward to it. So drop me a comment below, and if you're interested in seeing me struggle with my solar power and worried about off-grid living, then I'm going to link that video at the end. But thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!